power of that movie was not Patrick Swayze swinging his butt. That's the reason I kept my dancing quiet for so many years, because we were packing late one night.
His iconic performances in films like Ghost and Dirty Dancing captivated viewers globally. Hidden realities and personal struggles affected his life and career nevertheless, beyond the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Let's explore Patrick Swayze's fascinating world in great detail. As Swayze's wife unveils the tragic truths that molded his reputation, be ready to learn the eerie shadows that followed him on his journey. Get ready to be moved to tears as you go through Patrick Swayze's life's unseen stories. When Patrick Swayze came into this world, the Swayze family had already made their mark. His paternal line began with a famous World War I flying ace from Houston, while his maternal grandmother, Patsy Carnes, added her own flair to the family tree. Prior to her marriage to her young countryman Jesse Wayne Swayze, she showcased her athleticism and dance abilities. Patrick and his 4 siblings enjoyed a carefree life after their arrival into this world on a sunny August day in 1952. The lives of the Swayze children were anything but ordinary. Patsy dissolves. Launching a dancing studio was her way of helping to support her family. The local arts community was deeply affected by her work as a choreographer and director. As a result of Patrick's dad's dual roles as a housewife and engineer for an oil company, the Swayze household was perpetually on the go. Growing up in the Swayze family, where there was an overwhelming amount of work to do and very little free time for the kids, Patrick was molded into the self-disciplined and flexible individual he would become. The traits that Patrick inherited from his parents were rather prominent. His sensitive personality and love of animals are traits he acquired from his father. He inherited an inventive imagination and a flair for the theatrical from his mother. Growing up with his younger brother Don was quite an adventure. Patrick would usually play the role of Tarzan, and Don would be his faithful sidekick Cheetah in their elaborate outdoor games. On occasion, they would get Jane, a local girl, to join them on their adventures in the woods. Patrick, who was just an average student in class, was a star outside of class. He was heavily involved in several extracurricular activities to show off his skills outside of school. Because he was always trying new things, he had boundless energy. No matter where he went, whether it was skating, swimming, or playing in a league for football or baseball, he was always a presence. He joined the school chorus, played violin, and was the lead in several plays when he was in junior high. Some may say he had energy overload from being so active all the time. But Patrick hated being a couch potato. He had great joy in leaping into many situations. Even more so, Patrick was so incredibly competitive that he could not stand to come in second. He was relentless in his pursuit of greatness and never settled for anything less than his best. Although his mother was a major motivator, nothing meant more to him than having his dad's approval. The approval and adulation of his father were things Patrick craved. Whenever Patrick competed in front of his dad, he would do whatever it took to win. It was an unforgettable event when Patrick's fierce competitiveness shone through. Not even in a friendly competition with a buddy was he able to come in second place. He couldn't get enough of success. Even Patrick's dad, who was present the entire time, found Patrick's determination amusing. Humbleness is a virtue, as Patrick learned the hard way. As early as 1972, Patrick made the journey to New York City to hone his ballet skills at the world-renowned Joffrey Ballet and Harkness Ballet. However, dancing was not his only love. His passion for performing was intense as well. To fulfill this longing, he enrolled in the theatrical program at San Jacinto College in Pasadena, Texas. He threw himself into the drama program at San Jacinto College in Pasadena, Texas. The tenacity of his son Patrick amused his father as he saw. Embracing humility was a lesson that Patrick had to learn the hard way. To fulfill this longing, he enrolled in the theatrical program at San Jacinto College in Pasadena, Texas. At the age of 28, Patrick was a young man whose passion was acting. Patrick, a young guy with a passion for acting at the age of 28, helped him cultivate this interest. At the age of 28, Patrick was a young man whose passion was acting. He was 20 years old when he had a passionate crush on 15-year-old dance student Lisa Nemi from his mother's school. The first time they saw each other for real was during their first dance, which Lisa fondly recalls. In 1975, Patrick and Lisa decided to settle down in New York. Patrick was appointed principal dancer by the emerging American dance company Elliott Feld Ballet. Despite his tough exterior, Patrick was really rather sensitive, especially when it came to fitting in with the other dancers. His powerful physique and love of adrenaline sports, including motorcycling, set him apart from other ballet dancers. But the dance world recognized and loved him for the unique flavor his performances possessed because of these characteristics. At the time of his marriage to Lisa in June 1975 in Houston, Patrick had completely lost all energy and strength. His extraordinary dancing skills led some to compare him to the male dancers of Russia's Bolshoi Ballet. The relentless pursuit of excellence and the physically demanding nature of Patrick's work finally took their toll on him. Regardless of the circumstances, Patrick's passion and dedication to his job remained unwavering. Following in his parents' footsteps, Swayze was ensnared in a world where dancing was an integral part of everyday life, as is the case for many youngsters. Because his mom chose not to hire babysitters, he spent many hours of his youth accompanying her on her way to and from work. He began his ballet lessons at the tender age of 3, which was quite an accomplishment for a child living up in the South, particularly during that time. He was the object of school bullies and insults attention due to this unusual choice. Swayze was the target of frequent teasing from his classmates despite his participation in more traditional sports such as swimming and football. In fact, he went to great lengths to detail an assault by a group of 5 boys in his memoirs. This prompted his father to begin instructing him in self-defense techniques. According to Patrick Swayze, The Price of Fame, a documentary series, he took his parents' advice and approached each boy individually, ultimately succeeding in winning over his father. It is in his memoir that Swayze recounts this event, along with a word from his father, who cautioned him against starting fights but always making sure to finish them. Patrick Swayze's early fascination with dance stemmed from his mother's profession as a choreographer. Along with this early exposure, he was already under a lot of strain as a youngster, due to his demanding and often abusive mother. Even while Patsy's critical and domineering nature is viewed by some as abusive, it is undeniable that she caused physical pain to Patrick as a child, along with emotional and mental injury. When Patrick reached 18, though, his father stepped in and threatened to leave the house if Patsy struck his son again, ending the violent episode. The trauma and abuse that Patsy experienced as a kid, argues Lisa Nemi, are the root causes of her behavior. In the video, Nemi reflects on her background and says that Patsy's violent conduct pales in comparison to the childhood traumas she endured and the stories Nemi heard about her mother. This is despite the fact that Patsy did exhibit aggressive behavior at times. Although Patrick and his mother had a strong bond, they avoided discussing Patrick's traumatic experiences. Patrick Swayze wowed casting directors in 1978 when he tried out for the main role of Grease's Danny Zuko. Because of his self-assurance and breathtaking good looks, he effortlessly embodied the character's charm and charisma. Patrick Swayze became famous after taking up the role from John Travolta. As he accepted the spotlight, his wife Lisa was there for him, offering a steadying influence and being there through thick and thin. Patrick and Lisa departed New York and headed for Los Angeles in 1979, when his stint in Grease ended. Their target was Hollywood. With his mother's ballet background and his own Broadway success, Swayze had already established himself as a seasoned performer by the age of 27. The film Skate Town, USA, which featured his impressive roller skating skills and rugged good looks, was his major break into the film industry. The forgettable picture was praised by critics for Swayze's believable portrayal of masculine sexuality. Since he was a little boy, Patrick dreamed of becoming a Hollywood star so he could buy a ranch for his dad to operate. He believed his ambition was coming true when he landed a recurring part in the 1982 TV series The Renegades. However, everything changed when he received the terrible news regarding the film's release. Patrick learned the tragic news of his father's untimely passing while filming the series. The tragic death of Jesse Wayne Swayze occurred when he was hiking with his dogs. Swayze had been a pillar of strength for his family throughout his life. Patrick was devastated by the news, which shocked his family. Maybe he's trying to make up for his father's loss by becoming more reclusive and thinking deeply about other people's problems and anxieties. Unfortunately, his melancholy persisted for far longer than I had anticipated, and it's possible it never fully faded. Even though he was hurting, he attempted to be strong for his family and control his feelings. Going back to work caused Patrick to have difficulties sleeping, so he turned to alcohol to help him cope with his pain. His loved ones were concerned because drinking is in his family tree. Patrick drank himself into harmful behavior due to his depression. He recklessly crashed into bars and got into altercations there. His word was never broken by him. Despite being a highly aggressive person, he never failed to deliver on his commitments. His word was never broken by him. Despite the depth of his misery, Patrick continued to labor tirelessly, even though few understood the extent of his struggles. Patrick Swayze broke through in the film industry with Francis Ford Coppola's 1983 feature The Outsiders. His exceptional dance abilities set him apart even at the ripe old age of 31, stood himself as the more seasoned actor among a group of exciting newcomers that included Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe, and Matt Dillon. Uncommon Valor, his second feature film, featured him alongside seasoned Hollywood actor Gene Hackman. Both Swayze's physical and acting talents were praised by critics for their impressive showing in the picture. Even though she was part of an ensemble, Swayze's performance in 1984's Red Dawn was notable. He got the lead part in the highly anticipated TV series North and South because of his performance in the film. Even though it was a challenging part, he did a great job of showing how the character matured and aged. As a change of pace from his typical parts in contemporary films, Patrick Swayze had the opportunity to portray a figure steeped in idealism in this series set during the Civil War. Never again will you interfere with us or make me battle against my own species. He felt that modern movies lacked qualities like honesty and decency, and he believed this role would provide him an opportunity to portray them. Despite his success on television, Swayze was still trying to land a role in Hollywood. He was secretive about his dancing background because he was worried it would cast doubt on his acting abilities. Nonetheless, he was enlisted for a low-budget film titled Dirty Dancing, which would subsequently achieve box office success. Patrick Swayze's iconic performance in the 1965 American miniseries North and South catapulted him to fame by the time he was 35 years old. After that, he got his hands on a screenplay that would catapult him to stardom on a global scale. His role as the lead in Dirty Dancing was accepted. Production on the film began with a lack of enthusiasm, but that all changed after the first dance routine was shot. The level of passion and intensity was so high that everyone thought they might have something special. The character's untamed sexuality and excitement were brilliantly portrayed by Swayze. He danced like the famous Gene Kelly and showed that he was really talented. Despite Johnny Castle's initial qualms about his dancing background, Swayze did an outstanding job portraying the rebellious dance instructor. He was perfect for the part because to his charisma and stunning good looks. However, due to the restricted funds, there were issues with the production process. Besides bad weather conditions, the choice is totally mine and you're still in that position. You would be wise to remain in this advantageous position. Impossible. Despite their on-screen chemistry, Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey's real-life romance was frosty at best. Their chemistry on film was electric, but behind the scenes they frequently fought and clashed. Both Patrick and Jennifer were seasoned pros who could put their disagreements aside when the cameras started rolling, despite the fact that they didn't get along. Their on-screen connection was so powerful that it captivated audiences. Patrick was the film's standout performer because to his incredible dance skills and his ability to pull off his own stunts. When one of Patrick's stunts almost halted production, the producers of the film had good reason to be concerned about his dangerous stunt work. In one scene, he teaches Jennifer the ropes of log dancing while neglecting the risks of using a double. Too bad he slipped and fell more than once. A severe knee injury befell him. According to Swayze, the bones ground against each other in his cartilageless knees, giving him immense agony. Despite her tiny weight, lifting Gray in the water seemed like a tremendous load. Despite the setback, Patrick shown remarkable resilience by recovering fast enough to complete his challenging dance routines and dramatic sequences. In addition to acting in the film, he contributed significantly to the soundtrack by co-writing and singing a hit song. The song's Billboard Hot 100 debut catapulted Patrick to stardom as a performer and songwriter. The 1987 spring premiere of Dirty Dancing was a smashing triumph, but the film's real success came from its performance at the box office. The first film to hit U.S. theaters made more than $100 million, while having a relatively small budget of $15 million. Some of the film's female fans have seen it more than 50 times, which is a testament to how devoted the audience is. All of a sudden, Patrick was highly sought after. Johnny performed with the Gatlin brothers in the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, where he became famous. The women swarmed him as he galloped around the arena, sensing his fame. With Dirty Dancing's success, Patrick finally received the professional acknowledgement he had been craving, a Golden Globe nomination, the first of 3 he would get. Patrick Swayze was already a talented actor before he even attempted dancing. When it came to acting abilities, no one could compare to him. A career in football was his lifelong goal. Until he graduated from college, he was determined to play the game, despite his doubts about his abilities to reach the professional level. His football skills may have earned him a full ride to college. His college football playing days would have put him in good company with Mark Harmon, Josh Duhamel, Channing Tatum, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, among others. Tragically, Swayze's football career came to an end before he even completed high school due to a horrific injury. When Swayze hurt his knee badly in a game before his senior year in high school, he never played football again. He triumphed over this challenge by giving his all to the other things that brought him joy, such as dance and gymnastics. He was able to recover and regain his flexibility and strength through these activities. Not long after that, he began to fantasize about a future where he was a professional ballet dancer. Unfortunately, he suffered a further debilitating injury to his left leg, ending his dreams. Although dance and acting seem to be a logical extension of each other, the two really need very distinct skill sets. Swayze devoted himself to honing his acting skills after suffering a devastating leg injury in high school, which ended his aspirations of becoming a ballet dancer. He could hold this injury responsible for his bad luck, even if luck was obviously not on his side. Surprisingly, though, Swayze's dream became a reality. Since Swayze delivered outstanding performances in his parts, it was a success with the public. When Swayze was 23 years old and making waves in the ballet world in 1973, he developed a severe dental abscess that triggered a life-threatening bloodstream infection. It was almost time to think about amputating his injured limb since an infection had progressed to it. Fortunately, medical professionals were able to cure him, but it was too late. But with it, Patrick Swayze's dream of becoming a professional ballet dancer died. It had taken him a long time to find anything to fill the need he felt after quitting the ballet, as he had previously acknowledged. Swayze took the bold move of relocating to Los Angeles to pursue acting as she sought a new beginning. When Patrick's private life became public knowledge, everyone was watching. Even if the media had previously been forgiving to him, it all changed following the debut of Dirty Dancing. As soon as the photo surfaced, accusations of infidelity began circulating, as if the media had been plotting his rise to fame in order to bring him down. As a result of this onslaught of attention, Patrick became far more defensive and uncomfortable in public than he had been as a carefree boy in Texas. Because he wants to satisfy everyone, he has a harsh and businesslike side and a sensitive and easily hurt disposition. Although he achieved great success, he despised the way others saw him, as a sex symbol or a dancer-turned-actor. In an attempt to dispel this image, he sought roles in masculine action films such as Roadhouse and Next of Kin. He was often handed screenplays that were devoid of meaningful content, and his choices didn't always pan out. Despite battling with his drinking in the aftermath of his father's death, Patrick continued on his trip. Patrick had made drinking his life's work. The problem is becoming very serious. He was getting into too many fights at bars and wrecking hotel rooms. The need to be as tough as his movie heroes made him feel even more alone and alienated. He continued to drink himself silly on his 5-acre property, which he jokingly dubbed Rancho Bizarro. No matter how far he got in the acting world, Patrick was never content. He really needed a position for his career. He should stop acting like he's from Dirty Dancing. A thrilling journey was Patrick's professional life. If you asked me, he maintained his promise. If you asked me, he maintained his promise. If you asked me, he maintained his promise. A thrilling journey was Patrick's professional life. If you asked me, he maintained his promise. 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 And bring him to the peak. He was quite good at keeping his word. Despite his impressive resume, Patrick had reached a professional and psychological low point by 1990. He hoped he might discover a plot that would captivate an audience and reawaken his passion of performing. Following that, Patrick's wife Lisa, who had discovered the script for the romantic comedy thriller Ghost, suggested that he read it. He gave his hesitant approval, but he seemed obviously distressed as he left the room. This film was something he felt compelled to make. He was very moved by it. However, the director first thought that Patrick's rough-and-tumble persona from Roadhouse wasn't a good fit for the role of Sam Wheat, a rising star stockbroker. Everyone present was taken aback by Patrick's audition because of how determined he was to obtain the position. Sam Wheat, a guy consumed by remorse over the death of a loved one, came into his own as he matured. The chemistry between Patrick and Whoopi Goldberg's Oda Mae Brown, the eccentric medium, was palpable. Having decided that Whoopi was perfect for the role, Patrick was adamant on casting her. As they expertly blended serious and funny moments on film, their chemistry was obvious. Patrick was nominated for Best Actor for the second year in a row at the Golden Globes, and Whoopi Goldberg took home an Oscar for her work in Ghost. A lot of people loved the movie. Patrick Swayze has returned to his former glory as a leading man in Hollywood after a lengthy absence. The article even went as far as to label him the sexiest man in the United States. After Ghost, Patrick Swayze's fame started to climb, and he had his pick of numerous scripts. Point Break was the second time he distanced himself from his romantic image. Despite showcasing his skydiving skills, this film flopped at the box office. Patrick Swayze wasn't always content with the roles he accepted or portrayed, despite his considerable popularity. His passion was acting, and he eagerly sought out new parts in suspenseful, dramatic, and action films. In the 1992 Indian film City of Joy, he believed he had discovered his ideal dramatic part. He played a doctor from the United States who works in the impoverished slums of Calcutta and finds purpose in his life. Though City of Joy bombed at the box office, reviewers praised Patrick Swayze for breaking away from his usual fare. His approach to work, which included taking on several roles and making bold choices, was admirable. He may have made an impression in the business beyond massive riches and blockbuster records because to his capacity to adapt. Tragic events occurred in Calcutta in 1994. Manic depression took the life of Patrick's older sister, Vicky. She left behind 2 children when she took her own life. Patrick was there for her, but he wished he had taken further action. The loss of Vicky shocked the family since she was brilliant and gorgeous. As Patrick entered his early 40s, he saw a decrease in his film career. It's been 4 years since Ghost achieved popularity, yet he still had his moments. What motivated Patrick was watching him host the 1994 World Music Awards and dance with his wife Lisa. He failed on occasion with the roles he chose to play. In his most audacious performance to date, Patrick portrayed the drag queen Miss Vita Boheme in Julie Newmar's 1995 film To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything. The fact that Patrick portrayed Vita Boheme as an empathetic figure instead of a prankster earned him praise. The film bombed at the box office despite rave reviews, and Patrick went back to playing masculine heroes. Punching men in the face is sometimes necessary. No matter what was going on, Patrick never wavered in his dedication to the job. He gave 110% to every job he had because of his strong work ethic. Others were also harmed by the film. Patrick went through hell in the movie. After a near career-ending accident while horseback riding in 1998, he began to reevaluate his risk-taking behavior. Keeping calm throughout his career was something Swayze attributed to his relationship to Nimi. Dark mysteries haunted Patrick Swayze's personal and professional life, unfortunately. These revelations were divulged by his wife, Lisa Nimi. Lisa and Swayze were married for 34 years, yet they still couldn't conceive. This depressed Swayze for a long time and caused him to doubt his ambitions. The actor Patrick Swayze admitted in 1989 that he had a different feeling but was afraid to pursue it. Meditation and talk therapy helped him gain insight into who he was. Patrick Swayze, scandals and all, was a young actor. Soka Gakkai Buddhism brought Swayze comfort after a year of uncertainty in Texas. He had an insatiable appetite for information and was quick to see the value of diverse points of view. Swayze was self-assured in his professional life, but he had a hard time confronting his personal life when he was 40. After years of using alcohol as a crutch, he finally gave in to his addiction. Patrick Swayze was in his youth following a film shoot. His professional and personal life were consumed by his drinking. When first challenged about his intentions, he questioned the necessity of taking any sort of action. He realized the seriousness of the situation and went for help. While he was abusing alcohol, his wife Lisa looked into Alcoholics Anonymous. To recover from his addiction, Patrick courageously checked into a Buddhist facility run by the Soka Gakkai in 1993. In Arizona, he was admitted to an action program at the Sierra Tucson Clinic. He worried about becoming into someone he had vowed not to be as he reflected on his adventure. During his recovery, Patrick persisted in creating films. 3 Wishes, a low-budget film from 1995, featured him prominently. He portrays a soldier in the Korean War who meets a widow and her 2 sons and possesses unexplained abilities. Swayze seemed to be taking a step back from his dramatic persona in this performance, which revealed a more subdued aspect of his acting. He didn't try to steal the show, but instead really cared about the family he befriended and wanted to do what he could to assist them. By being sincere and sympathetic, Swayze's understated yet appealing performance gave the picture weight. Few people paid attention to the movie 3 Wishes. Tragic news came to Patrick Swayze in 2008. As we may all be aware, pancreatic cancer is one of the worst diseases in the human body. His physicians confirmed this diagnosis. He persisted nevertheless. Swayze persisted in performing even when he was receiving treatment for his illness. Swayze and his family discussed their struggles openly rather than keeping them hidden. They wished for the world to understand the gravity of pancreatic cancer and the significance of research into treatments. They were able to support this vital cause because to their fame. Traditional medicine wasn't the only tool Swayze utilized. He also experimented with acupuncture and a certain eating plan. He thought these things helped him cope with his illness and live better overall. More than just himself, he battled. When he fought for all cancer patients, he showed that he could do no wrong. Even the most hopeless circumstances may inspire optimism. Despite fighting illness until the last, Patrick Swayze passed away at the age of 57 in September 2009. Still, he leaves behind a lasting impression as a cancer researcher, dancer, and actor. Charm, skill, and versatility were the hallmarks of actor Patrick Swayze's career. Even now, people can't get enough of Ghost and Dirty Dancing, and his dance moves thrill fans all around the globe. In addition to his acting roles, Swayze had a kind spirit. Despite his many charitable endeavors following his battle with pancreatic cancer, his true passion was funding cancer research. Together with his wife Lisa, Patrick Swayze established the Pancreas Cancer Research Fund. What is their objective? Encourage early detection, bring attention to the issue, and support research. We can get wisdom from Swayze's story. We are inspired by his fearlessness in chasing his dreams. Optimism and perseverance are inspired by resilience in challenging situations. In his teachings, we learn that charity is a powerful tool for social change. Even though Patrick Swayze has gone on, his work will live on in our hearts and minds. Much obliged for your time. Looking forward to seeing you at our next gathering.